Eduardo Camavinga, the 18-year-old sensation on which every top club had their eye. Every single club has been tracking the development of this youngster, and finally the man from Rennes has joined the most successful club in the world. It was a transfer which many didn't see coming. Madridistas were expecting a Frenchman to join the attack of Madrid, but in a dramatic deadline day move, Real Madrid pulled off probably one of the steals of the decade, and they brought in a midfielder who has all the potential to define the next 10 years for the Los Blancos. So in this video, we'll have a look at the early life and football career of Eduardo Camavinga. We'll talk about the style of play of the player and where would he fit in playing in the whites of Madrid. We shall discuss all of that, and let's get started. Now, firstly, speaking about Camavinga's early life, he happens to have a very humble beginning. He was born to Congolese parents in Mikonji in 2002, which was a small community in a refugee camp of Angola, but the family then moved to Lille and then Fugger in 2003, with both being located in France. He had a difficult childhood, and being the third child out of 6 siblings, his mother wanted him to commit to life in judo, but his father seemed to have other intentions. He was more inclined towards making his son a professional footballer. He took Camavinga to play for Drapeau Fugger. At the age of 7, Camavinga started kicking the ball, and his natural ability meant that he would always play above his age group. Till the age of 7, he kept playing for Drapeau, but soon he caught the eye of the biggest club of the region. He was spotted by the coaching staff of Rennes, and then he got an invitation to play at the Rennes Academy. It was a big move for the youngster. He recalled his experience in an interview as he said, "I remember it perfectly. It was parents-led. We got smashed then. Everyone came to see us. I switched between left back and centre back, but since that day, Matteo wanted me to join Rennes. He spoke with my coaches and my parents, and then he said to me, would you be okay to come and do a tournament with Rennes? I couldn't believe it. Rennes was a big club. It never made me scared, but I never felt better than others either. What followed was that I played with Rennes and I was taken on, that's all." However, Camavinga would have another twist in his life as he and his family had to see his house burned down. His move to Rennes was almost over the line, but this incident left a mark on Camavinga, who was just 11 at the time. Camavinga's trainer in his early days recalls, "They lost everything. The house was a sea of tears." But the family would go on to survive this major disaster. Through a charity, his family received the basic necessities. However, the burnt house saw another fire burning inside Camavinga. The incident left Camavinga with a desire to overcome all his challenges and win the world. In an interview in 2020, Camavinga remembered the words of his father after the incident, "Don't worry son, you're going to be a great footballer and we will rebuild this house." Camavinga further said that he clearly remembered the incident. "I remember the fire as if it were yesterday. I was at school and saw the firefighters passing out of the window. At the end of the class, the teachers came to me and my sister and explained what had happened. My dad came to get us and took us there. Everything was burnt. Everything was destroyed." But in this adversity, we again find Camavinga would come out of the flames with the mentality of a champion. He said, "I was the family's hope. Suddenly, I was motivated. My parents were already happy, but I knew I could make them even happier." And soon the fortune of the family would start to turn as Camavinga started plying his trade with Rennes. He signed his first ever professional contract in December 2018, and at 16 years and 4 months, Camavinga became the youngest ever player to appear for Rennes. He made his professional debut against Angers in April 2019. He also became the first 2002-born debutant in any of Europe's top 5 league, and the following 1920 season would truly see Camavinga break out on the scene. Every football pundit was intrigued to see the 17-year-old make his debut for France. He became the youngest French international of all time and would mark his first international start with a stunning goal. It was remarkable to see him play. He was so young, but he looked like he had everything in control. He was not at all fazed or overwhelmed by the situation, and he handled the big events with calmness and maturity. Currently standing at 6 foot tall, the youngster certainly has the tools to make his presence felt in the midfield. In fact, in his first year at Rennes, the manager Julian Stefan used Camavinga in multiple positions in the midfield. He played him deep, on the left, on the right. Julian Stefan had immense trust in the teenager and he used him in multiple positions in the central midfield. The match against PSG in 2019 made many clubs notice Camavinga even more as he put in a man of the match display against the French champions, and Verratti and co in the midfield looked to be powerless to stop the enthusiasm of Eduardo Camavinga. And analysing the qualities of the midfielder, his defensive ability is the first thing that comes to our mind. He's a good tackler of the ball, relentless in closing down the opposition. Despite being young, he doesn't have any problem winning shoulder-to-shoulder tackles. And can we possibly attribute this strength to his early life training in judo? Well, we can only speculate here, but Camavinga has the defensive attributes which allows him to position himself in the right place at the right time. You can see in this clip Camavinga shows his tackling skills. It's time to perfection. The referee has no issues there. He's not afraid to put in the challenges, and that is why you can very easily see glimpses of Casemiro in the youngster. Real Madrid fans have been crying out for Casemiro's backup for the past few years, and now we have an exciting prospect who definitely has the potential to fill in the boots once Casemiro makes way. But knowing more about Camavinga, he's not just a player who's good with defensive duties, he's also a player who's good with the ball at his feet. He's not someone who's shy of receiving the ball. Often we find that he drops deep to collect the ball from centre backs, and from there on Camavinga also backs himself to go on those line-breaking runs, and he keeps pushing through the half spaces whenever he finds an opportunity. Have a look at this clip. Camavinga single-handedly attempts to go forward with the ball. He sidesteps the opposition. He now has acres of space ahead of him. He continues going forward, and this ability is something that we find in many clips. Another striking thing about Camavinga is how light-footed he looks with the ball when he goes on those dribbles. He's a tall player who has excellent body orientation. He's smart when it comes to positioning and taking his first touch. He's someone who has a very good work ethic, and he's no slouch on the pitch either. It seems like ball retention is his primary objective, and last but not the least, he has shown that he has the ability to make those defense-cutting passes. You can see in this clip with quite a bit of ease, he sent his teammate through on goal. It was an accurate pass which was perfectly weighted, and it seems like he can play the role of a box-to-box midfielder as well. So overall, if we look at the player profile of Camavinga, he looks like a complete package, and of course he's a very young player. There are still a lot of improvements he needs to make. In the 2020-21 season, there were some games where he showed some inconsistencies as well. I would also like to improve a bit on his shooting skills. A midfielder who can get some goals is highly cherished these days, and the good news is that now Camavinga would be learning from a top-class coach and in the presence of world-class players. He has time on his side, and the way Real Madrid team is structured, he would not have the pressure of coming in, day out and deliver under the lights of Madrid. He can take his time. At this moment, he is not expected to be a starter. We can be safe to assume that opportunities would be limited, but here he will have to make the most of the minutes he gets. As a youngster, his job is to continue growing, continue developing his game. He needs to prepare himself for all the pressure that he'll face in the future, and with his head above his shoulder, Camavinga has all the ingredients which are required to make a career in Madrid. So definitely Camavinga makes this Real Madrid team much better and much more prepared to fight for the Champions League. But how much will Carlo Ancelotti use Camavinga this season? We shall find that out very soon. In the meanwhile, do let me know your thoughts on the signing of Eduardo Camavinga. In my opinion, it was a deadline day masterclass, but here, your thoughts in the comments will be highly appreciated. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care, glory to Madrid, and as always, a la Madrid.